The warm African sun shone brightly over Maseru, capital of the small mountain kingdom of Lesotho, home of the toughest event on the Southern African off-road calendar. On aggregate times, the Chepex were quickest and would start first on the road on day 2. With the top special and production vehicles well mixed up in the top 10, the lines were drawn for an intriguing battle over the next 2 days. Off-roaders believe in the early bird adage, and before the start of Racing Section 2, the atmosphere was friendly, if somewhat tense. Also present, His Majesty King Letsie III of Lesotho.
Many of us look forward to the rally every year, and we are delighted and very, very happy that for 33 years this event has been taking place in our country. It is a great source of pride and joy for us, not only here in Maseru but throughout the country, and it places on the international map.
Racing Section 2 consisted of 2 loops over roughly 500 kilometres east of Maseru, with a service point at the end of each loop. Franz Czepek felt upbeat.
It's quite nice to be out in front because you're not going to suffer with the dust, but then again you're going to suffer with route finding, which is quite difficult, because it's quite difficult to mark here in Lesotho, and but hopefully we'll find the route and hopefully we'll stay in front.
Behind the Chepex, Api Reinecker knew what he had to do.
The roof is a very dangerous place, and we're doing the same route tomorrow, so we'll take it easy today and see what's the route like, so that we don't happen end it up in one of these dongas.
Echoing Reinecker's sentiments, John Weir-Smith.
I think today we just need to take it fairly easy. It's a long way, it's very, very rough out there. We had a bit of a good run yesterday, and there are quite a few dangerous holes and cliffs and that sort of thing out there. So I think take it fairly easy and just keep it on the road.
And Hannes Krobler.
It's a long way. I mean, it's still 1,000 kilos. It's probably only going to start tomorrow morning, So we're happy if we can be at the same place tonight. We'll be happy, and then from tomorrow we'll take it on, see if we can make it.
1,000 kilometres still ahead, indeed. But the one thing that had not been thrown into the mixture yet was the weather. Dry, if somewhat dusty conditions greeted the competitors as they got down to the serious business of racing. Franz Czepek Sr. and Jr. had not had a good season at all and held a slender 18-second lead over the Reinecker-Houghton combination at the start of Racing Section 2. The multiple former champions had also suffered from reliability problems throughout the season, but things were looking better. Weir-Smith and Minutes in the Dark Dog Porsche Race Co. started at a steady pace, as did Krobler and Leek in the impressive BP Nissan Hardbody. With less than a minute between each of the top crews on the road, the dust was turning out to be a bit of a problem. The starting order hadn't changed as Greg and Fred Dowse in their Porsche Race Co. maintained 5th position. It was still early days. Having started a mere 17 seconds behind class champions Variawa and Carolyn, Bevan Berthold and Atang Makakhaneni in their Speedstick Raceco were pushing as hard as conditions allowed. Often competitors were literally within touching distance of each other, but the rocky surface and the dust made passing difficult. It was still way too early to get adventurous, so Dowse and Variawa were treading carefully. Despite a stomach bug, which would later put him out of the event, Arthur Abraham and his son Scott were going strong in their Jeep Cherokee, maintaining 8th on the road. Up to 9th on the road, Mark Corbett and Juan Moore in their Jimco, who had 1 class win under their belt this season. They were looking for a good result to challenge for 2nd in the class championship and had already passed John Moore and his Miller Moore Honda Racing Y2K Fishbowl. That's horsepower of a different kind as we catch up with the field halfway through the first loop. Still leading, both overall and in Class A, Franz Czepek Sr. and Jr. in the Epson V Motors Chenoweth. Class B leader Giel Nel, who already had a finishing record of 4 class wins, a 2nd and a 3rd, in 7 starts this year. The little Trussie with its Golf engine was looking virtually spotless and sounding smooth as Nel negotiated his way over and through the obstacles in his path. In Class D, Geniel de Villiers and Pete Swanepoel in the BP Nissan Hardbody were maintaining their class lead. secure in the knowledge that they didn't have to push too hard, as class champions Hein Krobler and Charles Volmerans were still way down the order. Leading Class E were the brothers Birkin in their Toyota Hilux. They had already passed Jean-Pierre Joubert and Errol Hodgson on the road and were opening up a gap over their title rivals Noel and Robin Quinn in their Pajero. Still at the front of the super trucks were Arpi Reiniger and Robin Houghton in the Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser. Their third place in the recent Caledon 400 had given them hope that at last their reliability problems were over. The Chep X and their Epson V Motors Chenoweth accelerated out of the first service point, still leading both overall and in their class. No problems for them, while the Reiniger-Houghton combination had suffered from some punctures. For most competitors, it was a welcome break, while their service crews jumped into action to carry out the necessary repairs. We rejoin the action in the second loop with Franz Čepek Senior and Junior still leading Class A. The Epson V Motors Chenoweth had run without missing a beat, and the crew were driving with great confidence. Up to second in Class A now were Mark Corbett and Juan Moore in their Jimco, having started fifth at the beginning of Racing Section 2. They had taken advantage of various problems suffered by their class rivals and were looking solid. Up to third from fourth in Class A were Bevan Berthold and Atang Mahakhaneni in the Speedstick Racing Raceco, who'd overtaken Greg and Fred Dowse in their Porsche Raceco. While they were pushing hard, Richard Schilling had joined the ranks of the spectators after he and Ashley Thorne had retired from the race. Still going strong and leading Class B, the ever-consistent Giel Nel in his home-built Golf-driven Trussie. He was ahead of Francois Smith and Nick Clarkson in their Sandmaster, and Archie Sally and Peter Ferreira also in a Sandmaster. A change on the road in Class D, with Pete Haasbroek from Freiburg and Christo Bosch in their Toyota Land Cruiser now in the lead. They'd gone past early leaders De Villiers and Swanepoel, as well as Nars LaRue and Cornel Jonker in the Colt Rodeo, the rough terrain causing all kinds of problems. As always, the local spectators shouted all the necessary encouragement. The De Villiers-Swanepoel combination in the BP Nissan Hardbody had lost some time due to problems like punctures, but were still holding down second place in Class D. LaRue and Jonker had also lost time and were running third on the road, but everybody knew that there was still a long way to go and that anything could still happen. Even so, they were trying to regain some time. The Birkins were still driving a steady race in their Toyota Hilux, leading Class E for standard production vehicles. If they could hold on to this position, they would take this year's Class E championship. But it had started raining some 120 kilometers from the end, and the surface was getting slippery at places. Up into second position in Class E now were the main title rivals, Noel and Robin Quinn, in their Mitsubishi Pajero, who'd started the day with a deficit of some 2.5 minutes on the Birkin brothers. This battle was far from over. Down to third in class were Jean-Pierre Joubert and Errol Hodgson in the Char Lynn Freight Toyota TDI. Arpi Reiniger and Robin Houghton were still comfortably in the lead in Class T in their Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser. Apart from the odd puncture, the pair had suffered no serious problems and were looking strong. Behind them on the road, however, were Cliff Barker and Vic Camphor in the Land Rover, who'd been forced to fight their way up the order from the back of the field after losing a wheel in the time trial the previous day. Down to third in Class T were Hannes Krobler and Richard Leake in the BP Nissan Hardbody, who'd lost more than an hour after getting stuck in a ditch. Fortunately, they didn't suffer any serious damage, and they could set out to make up the lost time. Although the sun was still shining on various parts of the route, the clouds were gathering, threatening heavy overnight rain. At the end of day two, Franz Čepek Senior and Junior topped the results sheet ahead of Corbett and Moore, with Berthold and Mahakhaneni leading Reiniger and Houghton.